Welcome back, everybody. Time for some more End of a New Beginning as we continue playing through as the United States. It is July of 1884, and this is all about colonization now. We have started the process of colonizing Africa. Other nations are going to be soon to follow. We've got 1,152 colonial power right now. We're gaining a daily gain of 1, but our current max is 1,152, so we are maxed out at the moment. So that's primarily going to be the focus, at least for the coming few years, is going to be our colonization of Africa and our competition with other nations for that territory as we continue to work toward what we know will be eventually the Spanish-American War that's going to be coming around the corner. And I'm slowly but surely building my Navy for that eventuality, knowing that it's coming. And I think we're pretty well caught up on technology for the Navy, but there's a few things we've got here and there to do. So right now, what we're waiting on are the founding of our first charters, which are going to trigger wars with some of the territories that we're looking to colonize. But you can see here, those take quite a while. We've got 183 days and 198 days, respectively, for those two things. And I'm not entirely sure where the Mauritania charter is. I've got to look around and see where that territory is. So we can see here, France has, there's French Senegal right here. We've got some Portuguese territory right here. And then the British have a little bit of territory along the coast right here, Sierra Leone. So they are all starting to stake their claims, and obviously that's going to put us at odds with them at some point. All right, so something we need to do to support our colonial efforts is we really need to build up the infrastructure. And I want to really just max it out in these areas, but primarily in that first one, because that's going to allow supplies to flow everywhere else. You can see they're really limited primarily by infrastructure, and I need a lot more than I have right now. So we're going to start maxing out that infrastructure. We're going to drag that up here to the top, make that the priority over the other things that we're working on. We are working on some coal mines in New York, Pennsylvania, and then in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Virginia, and West Virginia, we're working on civilian industry. So let's prioritize infrastructure. Taking a look now at our research, and this is the mechanical engineering area. Electric tramway is now available for us, and that's one option. These other ones are a little bit ahead, but not too bad. Building military industry level 10, civilian industry level 10. That just allows us to kind of upgrade those a little bit. Enables naval dockyard, land fortification upgrades. Here, naval range factor. That's actually really helpful. Let's go ahead and do that. There are also a series of research options that have to do with colonial power and maxing out on that power. Now, I'm already maxed out on colonial power right now, but I could be quickly spending that if I start trying to take over other countries. There are some additional things down the road that I think will be very helpful, though, in this tree, but I'm not going to worry about any of those right now. Let's look and see what we have over here. Ideology, drift defense. A lot of these have to do with politics, and there's really not a lot I want to do there right now. Zeppelin Prototypes. We're not too far ahead on that, so let's go ahead and research those. I'm going to go ahead and do the Found Ivory Coast Charter. That's going to get this territory for me right here. I'm trying to gobble up territories that are close to the other European powers before they can get at them. And this takes a while, so I want to have kind of a nice steady stream of these that I'm working on. All right, we're a little far ahead on the 1888 Armored Cruiser Hull. Let's see if there's anything else that we can be working on down here. There's a few things. Okay, so here come our charters, which means war, and I have a very immobile army at the moment. Now, nothing popped up related to any kind of declaration of war. Now, the Guinea charter is the one that's going to allow me to declare war on these people right here. So we'll see what happens when that one finishes up. Well then, completing the charter just kind of gave me the territory. I didn't have to do anything for it. And that's how we gained. Okay, so we did gain this territory up here as well, which is basically desert. So apparently we can just do this. So there's really no reason not to do every single charter that's available. I thought I'd go to war with all these folks, but basically we're just gaining the territory. So we're about to gobble up huge swaths of Africa in this episode today. So here are our current research projects: barbed wire fencing, which is going to give a population boost; electric tramway, we looked at earlier; industrial support equipment enables a whole new realm of military support equipment that'll be available. Early moored contact mine is naval experimentation that we'll be doing, and you can see here in about 4 months we're going to be gobbling up large chunks of Africa, which of course is going to lead to a lot more that we need to pour into infrastructure, industry, things like that. So I'm just taking a look at the research options that are available in that realm. Yeah, we'll go there. So now that we're gaining a lot more resources, I'm going to go ahead and start switching back a little bit toward trade. I don't want to go all the way to free trade, but we'll at least go to export focus. So let's go ahead and vote on that reform, because I think we've got way more resources that we currently can use, which means trading some of those away are going to allow for us to have additional factories available to us. We're way ahead on any further naval technology right now. Now we can do 1884 torpedo boat hull. Looks like we're going to easily pass that tax reform bill, and I'll show you why I'm doing that. If you look at trade here, look at just the massive amount of surplus resources I currently have, especially with wood, coal, fabric. So I could be trading away some of that, and in return, if you're not familiar with the game mechanics in Hearts of Iron, when you trade away resources, those in turn become additional factories, civilian factories that have become available. You can see there right now I'm gaining 11 from export. It's like having 11 additional civilian factories that I don't already have, which I can use to be building all of these things. Okay, and with the founding of the Ivory Coast Charter, you can now see the additional territory that I've gained. In 71 days, massive amounts of Africa are going to become mine. It's going to be interesting to see what the map looks like at that point, and then we'll probably have some additional decisions to make. Okay, so we passed that trade law. I'm curious now to see. You can see here, because of that, I've gained an additional 6 factories from trade. So that was definitely well worth it. That's 6 more factories that I'll be able to use to be building up infrastructure in Africa, building up factories in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Virginia, and West Virginia, and beyond. Let's see where we're at now with our charters. 40 days away. It's going to be really cool to see what happens. So now we've researched industrial support equipment, which means that Victorian support equipment is now outdated. So we're going to start the process of upgrading those. Let's take a look then at further research in that department, because that's going to unlock all of these, but we don't have them yet because we haven't gone down these routes yet. So let's go ahead and get all of that upgraded. All right, we are now just a month away, and what we'll do is we'll watch the map as all of that happens and just see how much more territory we take over. Okay, here we go. It's October 1885, and the map of Africa is about to look very, very different. Here it comes. I think I overwhelmed the system with how many charters we just finished. Oh, hello. And with that, Germany has declared war on us, I believe. You can see how much of Africa we just took, but that has triggered a war. We are at war with the German Empire and several African powers. Peru jumps in on our side. Holy cow. That just got really, really interesting. And we don't have a lot in the way of armies over here, so maybe we shouldn't have gobbled up quite so much all at once. All right, let's do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I should have the superior navy, even if a lot of my navy hasn't been upgraded yet. So we are going to start the process of patrolling the shores around Germany, just in case he sends anything out. So we'll be able to deal with those things, especially if he wants to try and land troops anywhere. The second thing I'm going to do is I've got to start bringing additional forces over into Africa, because right now I don't have a lot of my army there. So we'll go ahead and send Grant over from right now where he's in South America and get him on the front lines over here in Africa somewhere. I don't know what territory at all Germany may have, but I'm guessing that's probably where we're going to want to be, is somewhere in this area. So apparently the only German territories of concern here are right here, so that's what we're going to deal with. They have bad opinion of me, but we're not at war, I don't think, currently with any of these folks. So primarily we'll focus on these guys, but I am going to bring additional forces in and put them on these borders here just in case. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to take a while to get Grant's forces over here, though. Let's go ahead and start doing some convoy raiding off the coast with Germany. And hopefully that will further put pressure on him. Here's the situation so far. We've lost 200 men. We've inflicted 11,000 casualties. None on the German Empire, who has this massive army that hopefully they don't really get a chance to use. So you can see here that these forces, these African forces, are starting to move up into my territory over here. So we're going to have to expand the area that we're defending here as quickly as possible. And we're going to go ahead and send Phil Sheridan over here as well to get him on that border to help contain things. Well, apparently we won the war, at least there. So this is going to be additional territory that we're going to be able to take. I don't know if that'll end the war with Germany as well, or if that's considered to be separate. I guess that's it. Okay. So that's way easier than I thought it would be. Oh no, we are still at war with the German Empire. Okay, it just didn't pop up right away. So now we're not at war with anybody in Africa anymore. This is just about Germany. I don't know. I'd like to be able to just find a white peace, because I'm really not interested in being at war with them. But we're considered the aggressors here, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, we've got some naval combat happening with the Germans, and I don't think it's going to go particularly well for them with my 114 ships trying to do some convoy raiding here right now. And you can see the critical hits that are happening and the strength of those units. We just did a number on his convoys there, and we're going to continue that. We are losing some ships, or are they just shifting? It looks like they're just shifting to other areas together. So, yeah, our Navy's going to absolutely dominate Germany because they don't have a Navy. Let's go ahead and look at the ledger here. You can see the German Empire. They've got 165 army divisions to my 79. But they've got 15 ships to my 243. I actually had over 300, but I started eliminating. I'm phasing out some of the older ships that really just have no range and no power. And we are in the process of producing early armored cruisers. We're actually going to upgrade to something new here as soon as these are done. I think I've got newer technology than that that I can use. The 1880 protected cruiser might be what I do next. All right, we're going to design our first early protected cruiser. You can see the stats that it's got. We could probably make it a little faster. Right now it's only got an 8.4 knot top speed. Pretty good hit points. You can see a little bit of light attack, especially good on heavy attacks. I'm going to look and see if maybe we can make some changes to that. Maybe make our light attacks a little better. Looks like we can't really. Alright, I think we'll go with that. That's something new we have. We didn't before. So, early protected cruisers. We're going to start producing those. Let's go ahead and make a run of 5 of them to start. By then, we'll probably have better technology. Okay, this is probably going to end really badly, but we have to at least try. I'm sending my first attempt at a naval invasion of Germany, just so I can try to end this war. I don't want to defeat Germany, I just want to end the war. But I can only send 4 divisions, and by the time I get a beachhead with those 4 divisions, it will take forever to get additional units there. And we know even if I have my entire army in Germany, he's got twice as many divisions as I do. So we're going to see in just a minute how badly this is going to go. But I had to at least give it a try. I think they're almost there. I have naval supremacy all the way along from my beachhead, or from my my port in Africa, all the way up. Here they come. It's just 4 divisions against 160 or so in Germany. But if I can hold on long enough to rush additional divisions up there, maybe we have a chance. Where are they? They're still making their way here. These divisions are under command of James McPherson, who historically died during the American Civil War. He was the only Union Army commander killed during the war. He was not technically the highest ranking officer killed for the Union, because there were others whose major general commission was before his, but he was the only one that was at Army command level. He was killed outside of Atlanta. Greatly beloved by all of his men. Grant loved him too. All right, so it looks like we might have a shot at least getting the landing. If that happens, who knows? We've only lost 194 men. We've inflicted 5,000 casualties, though most of those are not during this particular... Okay, now it's down to 61%. Not sure this is going to happen. So I wanted to try and start a second naval invasion, but I don't have the capacity to be able to do 2 separate naval invasions at once, because that would have taken some of the pressure off of these guys. But it looks like this one lone division that we've been attacking in Hamburg is starting to lose. Just when I thought he rushed another division in there. So I'm definitely getting the better of the divisions that are defending. I just don't know how long I can keep attacking like this, because you can see the average organization of my attacking troops. If we can land, here we go. Okay, now this is our chance. Now we've got to very, very quickly rush further troops up here so that we have a chance to kind of get things moving from this point. So let's get those guys going. Let's establish some kind of... I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so we've established that. Now let's see if we can bust out from here, and let's see if the rest of McPherson's divisions are going to make their way up there, because hopefully that's what we're going to see now, is we're going to see additional troops get rushed into the field just as quickly as we can before we end up losing and having these guys eliminated, because you know he's going to start surrounding me here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put these 4 divisions in last stand mode, which gives them additional entrenchment and defense, because all I want them to do right now is hang on to Hamburg, because additional divisions are finally starting to make their way up the coast. And I think once I get them in there, we're going to be able to hold and push out, because you can see here 4,000 casualties so far, 36,000 on the German side. So if I can just hang on where I am and get some additional help in there, I think we're going to be able to do something against these German forces. I think technologically I just have them beat, even though they may be numerically superior. But this is some bad news here. It's starting to look like he may... Oh, okay. As long as it stays green, we're in good shape. How quickly are these guys going to get here? They're still probably at least a week or 2 away. We've got, you can see we've got coming from South America, coming from Africa, a lot of divisions on their way. We've got some up here as well. Just hang on, boys, hang on. All right, here come the first reinforcements, and we're going to hang on. So now we're going to start going on the offensive a little bit here. You can see he just lost tons of men hurling himself at my entrenchments in Hamburg. So it's 67,000 losses now for the Germans. We're starting to get our other divisions in place here, and now we can start a breakout. And once we break out, supply no longer becomes an issue, and then he can't concentrate his forces all in one spot on me. And I think this could get really interesting here in Germany now. So just like that, that little 4-division force that took and held Hamburg has turned into a breakout into northern Germany. And even though he's got twice as many divisions in his army as I do, he just doesn't seem to be able to hang on against what I'm doing. And I'll remember too that just because he's got divisions doesn't mean he's got more men than me. In fact, you can see he probably doesn't, because my divisions are larger. I built divisions that have a particular size to them. In fact, let me go ahead and show you that. Most of these are infantry regiments with support, and they've got they've got a combat width of 20, which is kind of gives you a sense of how big they are. You can see the soft attack power, 263, the hit points that they have. So they're probably significantly larger than his divisions. Each one of mine has 8,700 men in them. I would guess that his are probably smaller, so I've probably got a larger army than him, even though he may have more divisions. So now we've got the ability to build an 1884 gunboat hull. So let's go ahead and start building that. I'm looking at the power of the different weapons. I want to make sure we have both light and heavy attacks. So I'm just looking at the stats on the different things that we're able to add here. Let's go with a heavy battery, early heavy turret there. Here's an armor slot, hardwood armor 2. That's going to give us our armor rating there. Fire control system. So there's our surface visibility, surface detection. I think we already did this one. Maybe not. Alright, that's pretty good. I think we'll save that. So we'll start building some of those now. Maybe we'll queue up 10 of those to start. Alright, here's the situation with the war. 172,000 casualties for the Germans now, and you can see how quickly that's climbing. We are just completely overrunning them. Now, we are taking some casualties as well, but it's been massive. So here's what we're going to do now. Let's go ahead and just put Sherman in charge of a full force. I'm going to clean all this up and put it into one command, and then we're going to go after Berlin. So let's go ahead and just watch some of this unfold. We're kind of reorganizing the army a little bit, so there's going to be some breaks where you can see where we lose in a few places, but more divisions keep arriving. And so eventually we're just going to keep pushing out. Hopefully we can keep up with reinforcements, though. Obviously that's an issue because his reinforcements can just come right to the front lines. Mine have to be shipped all the way across the ocean. So we're at 55,000 lost now, but he's lost 250,000 already. I just don't see how he can keep up with that. We've got a couple of research upgrades to make here. Man, never thought I'd be in a war with Germany this early. And I didn't think it would go this incredibly well. The main thing we've got to watch, though, is that fielded manpower number, because even if I'm inflicting heavy losses, if I'm not replenishing them in the field as fast as he is, I'm not really gaining anything. July 1886, here's the situation. We control most of northern Germany, but Germany's large, and it's going to take some time to expand into other territories. We're getting really close to taking Berlin, though, and we just overran some of his divisions. He's now at 820,000 casualties to my 120,000. This is just an absolute bloodbath of a war, but we're rolling toward Berlin. We're going to take it here in the next couple of weeks. We're also pushing down over here as well. Meanwhile, things go on in the world around us. And research continues as well. We're up to 1885 here. The Bayer process, that's going to help with construction speed. That's huge. A 10% bonus to construction speed. We've taken Berlin. That's nowhere close to enough to finish him off, but he's going to be hitting 1 million casualties sooner rather than later. Though you can see his fielded manpower really not changing all that much, because he's just got massive amounts of reinforcements that he keeps pouring into the fight. And you can see he's pushing me back in some places. We haven't taken East Berlin yet. This is going to take a while. August 9th, 1886. We're closing in on 200,000 casualties on my side. You can see 1.17 million for the Germans and climbing. His fielded manpower has now significantly been reduced. He's not. I think I've just eliminated some divisions from the field. So the idea of just rushing reinforcements in is no longer working for him because he doesn't have as many units to be reinforced. In fact, let's take a look at the ledger. You can see now he's down to just 88 divisions from, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 is what he had before. So you can't reinforce what isn't there. So I've decided to rush all of my forces from East Prussia over here, which means he's going to probably take some of that back to make a big push down here. Munich's the new capital, so if we can take Munich and some of these other territories, we might actually finish this war off before too long. I'm surprised it's gone this well as it has. All right, there's Munich. If we can gobble up a couple more cities. Bonn's now the capital. Bonn was historically the capital of West Germany. I know some of the younger folks out there don't remember this, but there was a time when Germany was two separate countries. It was East Germany and West Germany. Around the time of the end of the Cold War, 1990, 91-ish, they reunited. But Bonn was the capital of West Germany, while Berlin was the capital of East Germany. All right. Have we gained enough yet? Not quite. And, of course, now he's going to start marching back in over here, so we'll have to rush. As soon as we take the rest of this territory, we can turn and send everything into East Prussia to deal with all of that. And that should be enough to finish this war. All right, there it is. German Empire has capitulated, and we gain a bunch of equipment in the process. My goodness gracious. So we could actually separate them all back out into their former. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do. Let's divide up Germany into their former territories so that we no longer have this giant German state that we're dealing with. I do probably want to have at least some presence in Europe. So I don't know which territories we're going to take. Let's see here. What can I take for myself? Just so I have something. Because I want to have something in Europe. Some place from which to kind of move out if I need to and to take further territory. I think we'll take all of this here. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. From there, yeah, I don't really want to do too much. I think maybe we'll just puppet the rest. So let's take a look at the New World Order after all of that. This is going to be interesting to see. So I didn't take as much territory as I thought I did. I guess it all got liberated, so maybe I don't have any territory at this point. But that's okay. We've broken up some of the German Empire. We've made it weaker. I probably could have gained a lot more than I did, but that actually pushes them down to the fourth most powerful. They've only got 15 divisions in their army now. They've still got a lot of factories, but I've got 205 now. I'm going to wrap it up right there because, man, that was way more than I thought I was getting into. I feel like there's probably not a lot more I can do because I've become so powerful that it's almost comical now at this point. I could pretty much take on anyone I want. So let me know your thoughts about that. Do you want to see me continue this series? And just, and if so, what do you want to see me do next? Or would you like to see me just start another series as another nation and kind of, explore this End of a New Beginning some more, but with another nation. So let me know your thoughts about all of that. Drop a like if you would. And thanks so much for your support for this series, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.